Hello everyone. I've been getting some questions about how to embroider or attach motifs onto the back of a chasuble or the front, whichever you choose. So I do mine by hand, and I put two wrappings of gold cord, or in this case silver cord, around the edge. So I use 16 inch or 1/16 of an inch cord. This one is from Palladia, 57.3. She has the same in a gold, and it's a big roll like this. It's quite a bit cheaper this way. It's not a very expensive cording. So one of the things that I like to do with my cord is I seal the end with some glue, some fabric glue. You can see this, let's see right here. Let it focus in on it a little bit. Right here. Just gives a very clean edge, and it means I don't have to tuck it up under my embroidery. So I've already started this one, and part of the reason I didn't film this was because it was so irregular that that I wasn't doing it my normal way. So I'll just show you here. This is like bubbles. Well, they're not really bubbles, it's a cloud, but I was calling it bubbles as I was doing it. So my first time around with the cord, I always give myself a little bit wider space. If you have a measuring tape, I cut a little piece off of my measuring tape, and this is what I use for my spacer. So I like to go about this far apart with my stitches. It gives just a very even, nice stitch. So the first time around, I do it like this with this guy here. And with these bubbles, they're not, this is very difficult to use, so I didn't use that. So I basically just did at the tip of the bubble, and then halfway in between, and then at the tip of the bubble and halfway in between. Okay, so the first time around, that's what you're going to do. You're going to do a wider stitch, approximately this far apart, which I'll show you here in a second. And then my second time around, I go where I stitched before, so my stitch, and then I do halfway in between. And it's much easier to eyeball that halfway in between stitches than it is to eyeball this far apart to begin with. So I'll show you how I do this. See if I can center it properly for you. Let's see, where is it at? All right, here. So this is where I'm at, right here. Okay. Here's my stitch. I'm going to stick this down in between. If I can find my needle. Okay. And I'm going to come up. I'm going to come up underneath. Just next to my embroidery. Okay, just next to my embroidery. That's where my needle is. And coming up. And then I'm going to go out. And I'm going to come down now on the other side through my embroidery. Okay? So let me talk for a second here. This particular embroidery is very irregular, and it's antique. It's quite old. So, and if you can see here, it's got this hand embroidered rope type thing on the edge. I don't have much of an edge, like a clearance between where the embroidery part starts and, the unfinished edge. So a lot of times when I'm doing an embroidery and I'm cutting it out, I leave myself like 1/8 of an inch so that I can tack that down with my machine, so that my embroidery doesn't move around on me. In this case, that's, you know, I can't really do that. I can't machine tack this down. So I'm making sure that I bite into, I have it pinned in several spots. I have it pinned. And I make sure that I'm coming outside and then I'm biting into a good amount into my embroidery here so that I get that embroidery actually tacked down onto the thing. So I'm coming up again, right next to the embroidery. And then I'm coming down through the embroidery. This particular time, because I have this silver thread and I've run out of the right regular silver thread to use, I'm actually tacking this guy on with a embroidery thread, and it's really annoying because it keeps the thread itself is super slippery, which I really don't like. But I didn't really have anything else to use at this moment, so it'll work fine. It's just I have to keep checking it because it tends to get bunched up underneath. It's not a pleasant thread to work with. I don't recommend it. But it was the only thread I had in the right color for this silver. Okay? So you see how that's coming on now? Okay. So I'm going to pause this for now and get all the way around this guy and come back and show you when I get to the second round of stitches so you can see how that looks. Here we go. I'm biting down into it. Okay. Okay, so now I'm back and I've gone around much the entire design one time and then much of this the design the second time. So you can kind of see here what it looks like now that I have two lines of this cord down. And what's really nice about the second time around, it goes a lot faster because the first time around I'm going for, you know, a specific space apart and I do a wider space apart, okay? And then the second time around I make sure and I hit this space or this line, but then I go in between and then I go the second line. So you can see here how I hit in between on the line and in between each one. Okay, so now I'm here. I just want you to see how that looks. So I'm right here. And I'm hitting now a line I've already done. Okay, and I'm going up and around again and back into the same, basically the same hole that was already there. Okay, and then I'm going to go halfway in between because here's one line and here's another line, and I'm going to go halfway in between. And a positive of doing the halfway in between is that on curves and things like that, it really gives definition to your curve, and it makes it, it fills in, you know, that shape a little bit better. So especially down here where I did those cloud bubble looking things, I was able to make the curves look really pretty and defined because I was going in between each of those things and giving that rounded bit a little more definition. There we go. And see how well it lays down now. Say sorry about that. How much better it lays down now. I'm really not good with this part of it. Okay. How much better that lays down with double the stitches. And it really secures it well. So turns out a great product when you're finished. There we go. Okay, so that's how I'm just going to keep going around this whole thing until it's completely done. But I really like the way it turned out down here, especially. You can see how pretty it outlined it. Let me know if you have any questions. But we're just going straight up and straight over on each of those stitches. Okay, well, have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.